Southbound over towards the Hawthorne area here. Again, moving at a very high rate of speed. He's just to the west of us right now. We're looking off to the west, looking at the driver's side here. Again, we don't know exactly how many suspects are in the vehicle. We had oh my goodness gracious. Okay, have a look at that. Okay, so coming into cross traffic there, you can see the recklessness with which this guy is now driving here. So he just crossed the major intersection. Several units of the LAPD are following behind, as well as an LAPD airship here. So we continue to track southbound. I've got you. We continue to track southbound here, and again, moving pretty fast. So apparently those spike strips did not have much effect. Oh, okay, so he just nails the curb, nails a couple of cars there. He gets turned sideways. A very bad crash here. Southbound on Prairie, right before El Segundo. Southbound Prairie, right before El Segundo, and as he lost control, he hit the right side of the curb there. He smashed into a couple of cars. He's now turned sideways. There is a very good possibility that this vehicle may be disabled. You can see the lady coming out of that silver Honda, and she doesn't really know what's going on. The cops are telling her, get out of the way, get out of the way, come behind us. And so now they're dealing with the suspect in this black sedan that is now turned sideways. So there's a good chance he might not be able to pull out of this one here, because essentially that car might be stuck at this point. So again, there you go, the LAPD southbound on Prairie, right at El Segundo. That's the major intersection here in Hawthorne. We're just about 2 blocks south of the Hawthorne Airport here. And as you can see, the LAPD is again moving a little bit tighter to the suspect vehicle, a stolen vehicle suspect here. You can see LAPD officers out of the vehicle, guns drawn. Cars both still smoking. You saw that pretty violent collision there where the suspect actually lost control, hit the curb on the right side, and then careened off the curb, and then hit 2 cars that were southbound, waiting at the red light just before El Segundo Boulevard here. So for that matter, if we widen out the shot just a tiny bit here, Rich, El Segundo Boulevard just to the top left is going to be partially shut down. They are getting that locked down. Northbound is still moving for the moment, but I suspect that they will shut down northbound traffic as well so that they can deal with the stolen vehicle suspect here. Again, we understand that this guy might be suffering from some sort of emotional distress, so we don't know what to expect at this point. We're not going to zoom in too wide, but I can tell you that there is still some smoke coming from the vehicles there. I don't know that we see movement here, but undoubtedly the guy is still in the car. And as officers with their guns drawn are trying to get this guy to come out, have a look at that. Wow, is that a dramatic picture or what? My goodness. Ginger, let me send it back down to you. Okay, I've got you there.
Okay, as Mark speaks to air traffic control, this is what's so difficult to watch about something like this. Is there's been multiple occasions where maybe you feel like they could have stopped this guy, and then innocent people get caught up in it and possibly get hurt. And we saw there was a moment where he was at an intersection, he'd hit someone else already, and they seemed they had him. They had the spike strip, and then he got out, and he got through traffic, and he hit the sidewalk. And then this woman just sitting at a stoplight was hit pretty bad. She got out of the car. She looked to be okay. But that's the thing, when you watch these pursuits and you realize the danger the public is in, they don't know what's coming up behind them.
Can you imagine how terrifying it is? You look in your rear view mirror, and after somebody's crashed into you and you see multiple police officers with their weapons drawn. I mean,
I can't imagine.
He's hit at least 4 vehicles by my count. One of them a car, and now you see officers beginning to go in.
What, half a dozen officers? Half a dozen officers making their approach to the vehicle here. They are right up against the driver window. They are looking into the window, having a look with guns drawn. I've got you. And the door is open. The door is open. Okay. Well, we're not going to zoom in any tighter than this just because we don't know exactly what we're going to be looking at if we zoom in too tight. But what we can tell you is that it looked like there might have been a situation where something was fired into the suspect vehicle there. So without any direct confirmation, it sure looked like it. But at this point, it looks like the officers are taking the suspect into custody here. They have made the approach to the vehicle. They looked into the window. They opened the door. The suspect was kind of slouched over. And now the suspect is out of the car, laying down on the ground on the driver's side there. So again, we're not going to zoom in any tighter than this. It looks like that suspect, the driver, was the only one in the vehicle here. We had understood that this guy might have been under some emotional distress. And so at any rate, it looks like this is where it's going to come to an end here in Hawthorne. A stolen vehicle suspect here, southbound on Prairie, right before El Segundo Boulevard here, and the LAPD is overhead, Sky 5 HD overhead, and this guy is now in custody. I believe I did see a little bit of movement here just a few seconds ago, but what I can tell you is that intersection here, again, Prairie southbound, right at El Segundo, is going to be shut down for this ongoing situation here. Over the course of the next several minutes, we hope to get some more information as to exactly what happened as this vehicle crashed into a couple of other vehicles here that were southbound on Prairie, waiting for the red light to turn green here. So you can see some pretty major damage there. Multiple vehicles involved in crashes along the stretch of this pursuit course here, but again, this suspect is now in custody, and this intersection is going to be shut down. The LAPD is on scene, having a look, and in the midst of conducting their investigation.
And you say that you did see some sign that officers fired?
Well, Eric, we believe that that might have been the case. You can see the driver door window there. It looks like there may be some damage to the actual driver door panel. Without any direct confirmation, we had thought that we might have seen something. But again, that'll come out in the investigation that is surely to ensue.
They're holding, some of the officers have what look to be like some of the non-lethal weapons that they use, but it's hard to know exactly what happened there.
It's hard to know exactly what happened. Maybe they can review the tape, maybe they can play it back, but at some point the investigation will play out and they will be able to tell us exactly what happened here. But you saw a very dramatic situation here where the stolen vehicle suspect was, again, traveling at a very high rate of speed southbound on Prairie from the 105, lost control, careened against the right curb, smashed into a couple of cars, got turned sideways, and at that point, it looks like he was not going to be able to get out of this particular situation. You saw the girl, the lady coming out of that silver Honda, and looks like she's going to be okay. But, again, that suspect is now in custody here on the ongoing police presence here. Again, Hawthorne, southbound Prairie at El Segundo, where part of the intersection, at any rate, is going to be shut down. It looks like northbound Prairie might be open. I'll try and get that confirmed here. But obviously, south of El Segundo, the intersection is going to be open. But this is going to be the scene of an ongoing investigation here for the better part of the morning.
It certainly will. All right, Mark Kono, we appreciate you bringing us that. We'll continue to follow this. As Mark said, the roads will remain closed for some time. An investigation just beginning. We're going to take a quick break here. We'll be right back.
As high rates of speed, once they go over 40 miles per hour, folks, you can't do a pit maneuver anymore. It's not safe. So we'll see how this all shakes out. Thanks to everyone watching here live on News Now, part of Fox10Phoenix.com. Your host, Mike Page, the voice of police chases going on. Oh, look at that. He decided to go right into that side area, though, crushing those water jugs that are there for a reason. So if you hit that area, oh boy, viewer discretion heavily advised, everyone. We don't know what that suspect is going to do. Obviously, they just decided on purpose to jam themselves right in there, and they're getting taken away right now. And you saw all that wrap up there. That was something, boy, I've never seen that before, where a suspect just deliberately goes into that guardrail, water gushing everywhere. They're there for a reason, to try to protect you from that in case there was an accident. But boy, I've never seen that before. We're going to clip it here on our YouTube page so you can always be able to see that there. But dramatic crash in this police chase. Not sure what that suspect was trying to do and why they decided to do that, but this one's a wrap. But